Hello, everyone. This is Sweta Regmi streaming live from Canada, career consultant. Today, we are going to talk about 5 C's of career clarity. And I want to put the disclaimer out there. One size does not fit all. There are more than 5 C's that I cover within my sessions, and it all applies based on client's need that I work through, also the targeted role, targeted industry, and whatnot. So today, it's going to be a general topic. Clarity. I have a client today. Believe it or not, this client hires someone who wrote the resume and LinkedIn profile for him, and his name is Vishnu. I'm going to bring him right now, and super smart individual. When I got him, I felt like there was no clarity on it, so we worked together, and he got multiple offers, and now he's employed with the top employer. He's already switched from one of the top employers, so I'm going to bring him live, and he's going to go through the project management aspect, PMP. Maybe he can give you some insights about it. How did he go from not having any offers to multiple offers? He had a liberty of picking, offers left and right as well in the IT world. So he's going to come in and share his story as well. And then he's going to leave. And I'm going to share about the clarity that I teach my client. Again, one size does not fit all. But if you have any questions, you can reach out to me later on at all. Okay. So Vishnu, I'm going to bring you live. Let me see. Hi, Vishnu. How are you today? And tell us about yourself. It's all like we're going to go back to interview sessions today. Tell us.
Oh my God. Okay. It's both of us back again. I'm so happy to see you back, Sweta. I hope everything is good at your end.
Absolutely. And you know what? When I called you for this session, I think the confidence you had from the first call that we had in discovery sessions to like when I heard your voice, you were like night and day. I was so proud of you. So who are you to the audience who are watching right now in 1 minute, less than 1 minute? I put you through the exercise, right? Like back in those days. Who are you?
Well, I won't take 1 minute. I promise though. Well, I'm Vishnu Chandran. I work in the project management space. I've been in the IT field for some time now, and I work as IT project manager in one of the top 5 banks here in Canada, leading a regulatory project. So that's a small intro about me. As promised, I didn't take even 1 minute. It was like for 30 seconds.
You're being very humble. Thank you. And you know what? Let me put you on a spot and ask you, what made you decide, hiring someone to write your resume and LinkedIn before, which something that I didn't do it, but first was you hired someone from online, I believe, a resume writer and LinkedIn profile writer. What made you decide that it was the avenue that you want to go for?
Oh yeah, so basically the immigrants who come to Canada have there is a drastic difference between the resume that we craft there back in India or in other countries and the one which we craft here in Canada, right? So understanding the nuances of how to write, how to structure, how the keywords have to be included, Canadian experience, everything comes into play. So I wanted to understand how that works out. That's one of the primary reasons why I hired a resume writer. But then what happened there is someone wrote the resume for me based on the info that I gave. So rather than me thinking and writing my own resume, I had someone to write the resume for me, which ultimately did not work out, because when I read the resume, it had all the keywords crafted to some of the job descriptions, which didn't really do justice. So that's how it didn't work out well. And then I took some time, try to understand where it went wrong, and that's when I found you.
Okay. And I wanted to share one story that we laugh about it right now, but it was not funny at all at that time. He booked the discovery call at that point, and then he never showed up. And I am the person who if someone do not show up on a Zoom, I give them that space and I don't call them. But then because of him, client like Vishnu, what happened was, I don't know what was I thinking. I said, let me just give him a call instead of waiting on Zoom. And then I picked up. And I said, can I talk to Vishnu? And he's like, yes, this is. And I'm like, we're supposed to talk on Zoom. And I think the vibe was like, he didn't care. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna listen to him. What does he say? Right. And tell me, like, why did he approach me? And then that's when I knew that he'd hired resume writer and LinkedIn profile writer, and there was no result, and he was concerned about it. And then one thing that it stuck me was what he said was, I still remember, he said, I don't believe in this, career at all now, coaching at all. Like, I don't believe in any coaches. So what made you think about that? Like, why did he say what he said at that time? Like, what were you dealing with emotionally at that time?
Oh, so like when I got the resume, it was a bit fancy resume, I would say, like a lot of colors and all those things. It didn't work out for me, so I wasn't that that happy with the resume, to be honest. So I generally had a sort of, I would say, a stereotyping when it came to the career mentors or coaches in the LinkedIn. I thought that, okay, everyone is out there trying to do something or the other. It's anyway not going to work out. So I was a bit pessimistic at that time. So I was, but again, then I was going to different profiles of career coach, trying to see what they have been doing all this while. I have been trying to go through the posts that they have been putting for the last few years, including the testimonials from clients and all those things. So something somewhere, some spark came in through, and I thought, okay, I might connect with Sweta, and maybe why not try her out and see how it works out.
Perfect. So and I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you took a chance on me. And I didn't believe that you would, because that first impression within the coaching world where somebody else wrote it for you, that did not work for you. And I don't know, like, I don't want to blame any industry, anything like that. But I felt like when I was talking to you on Discovery Call and I spotted and I said, I think you're such a smart individual. You know so much. You've done so many things back home. And I think it's not coming out because there's no niche identified and clarity within that resume. And then when I was talking on Tell Me About Yourself as well, it was not coming out. And you knew, but the articulations of that, the clarity was not there. And that's why I think, thank you for taking chance on me, because I felt like I was not going to even brainwash you into hiring me. I said to you was, try and see the resume writing. I'll teach you how to write the resume. And for those people who are watching for the first time, I do write the resume as well, but I know exactly the problem. When people are not clear on what they want, what happens is, as a resume writer, I push back to people and I said, I don't think I can write the resume for you. You're not, like, if you're not qualified, I'm not going to write the resume for you. I think that's what's lacking in the industry. And there's an expectation that needs to be on a both end, I believe. And thank you so much for taking chance on me. And then, so what happened? Let me ask you this. From the day that you felt like, you know what, I came in here with a PR as a newcomer in Canada, you were, rate yourself before and after the program that we worked together. So 1 to 10 before, where are you? 10 being like, expert. Where were you when you have to rate yourself by learning the clarity and branding and resume writing skills and interview etiquette?
I would give a honest 4 before, and right now I would give like somewhere around 8 or 8.5. I wouldn't want to go until 9.5 or 10 because I'm humble.
Yeah, and that's a great one, right? Even me, I don't rate myself as 10, even though I am still learning when it comes to resume and understanding different market and everything. And that's a very good point as well. Nobody is perfect. Everyone is different. And I'm so glad that you rated yourself. You were at 4. And now after learning the clarity, you already had those. I just had to pull it out. We just had to work together and then put the branding together. And this is what the problem that majority deals with. They go after the fancy template. That's what you said. And they go after keywording, stuffing and stuff like that. In the paper, it looks good, but it does not actually tell employers that I want to hire this person. So what happened after? Within a couple of weeks of working together, what happened? You got multiple offers, I heard, and you were so excited.
Well, yeah. So when we worked together, I was trying to identify the niche that I worked in. So previously it was like including everything that I did in my resume. So what used to happen is the recruiters used to they used to think as to where should I fit this guy in, because there are a lot of experience, I mean, it's like too much of experience there, so they don't know where to fit you in. So we are not giving them what they wanted. Uh, so I just try to pick and choose those experience which would suit the job description, identify a niche which would help the recruiters take a decision. So that's what I did there. So it made the life easier for the recruiters, hiring manager, and for me as well.
That is so, you couldn't have said it better. I think, for the record, I didn't teach him how to do the network. We didn't even talk about how to do the content writing on LinkedIn profile. And this is why I tell people one size does not fit all. Sometimes people need the clarity and then need to know how do you write the resume by yourself, because you know yourself better than anybody else. And what happens is when you know how to write it, brand it properly based on resume, then it comes out on interview, and it was not coming out before. Now he got multiple offers because of the resume writing that he invested in, and then the interview etiquette as well, that it came out, because now we're comparing the clarity from day one. And when he went into the employers, he already knew how to brand himself. And when I gotten email from him like left and right, I'm like, I'm getting this. I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, because I didn't teach him how to go out there and do the network at all, because I didn't need to. He knew what to do. It was just a matter of getting that resume out there and getting interview and passing it. Am I right in assuming that?
Oh yeah, you're right. Like I would say that you are like working with you had, as you said, like you had pulled these strings out from me, uh, trying to make me understand where I was lacking, trying to make me understand how to think about the niche and all those things. So, which I hadn't seen. So, I wanted a second pair of eye to look at my resume and see what it was lacking. So, yeah, it was really, really helpful. And yeah, your assumptions are true.
Thank you. So, what's your message before I let you go and start with the steps of clarity for other people who are watching right now? Um, what do you suggest for people who are landing in Canada and who are going to be in Canada, or who are immigrant who got laid off, whatever it is? Like, what's the step they should? What's the first step based on what you've gone through? What are your tips?
Um, so, I always feel that the experience of people is like differ from one to other, right? So some might get hired in a month, some might get hired in 15 days, some for some it would take like 4 to 5 months. So it all depends on your mental stamina to how to cling in there and see how far you can go. So one thing which I want to say, and one thing which I want to like strongly emphasize, is that no matter how much time it takes, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. And if you believe in that, no matter how much time it takes, you would get what you want. So if you have that sort of attitude, and then like you apply the techniques that you learn from the 5 Cs or any other thing, then it would definitely help you. So it's like two front. One is the technicality of writing a resume and presenting yourself, and then having the right mindset. I think these two would definitely help you for any specialization, any field that you are applying for.
That's very great advice. And I love it. What you said was, you know what? People are different. Some people could get it right away, the result. Some people, I have had clients who are not getting result right away. It's probably based on the role, the targeted area, industry, and everything. And we should not compare that, and everyone's different. That's why I teach one size does not fit all. And even the clarity as well, sometime I don't need to teach them all on that C's. It's just like particular thing, and that's why it's customized. Now, I know that you got offer from Accenture, and then you went to right after that you went to BMO. And what's your long-term goal? Like, what are you thinking of right now? Like, to go in there, what's your long-term goal? PM?
So I'm currently working as a PM. So I just want to continue in this role for some more time. Uh, so right now I'm not looking at any sort of experience as such. But what I'm trying to do is enhance my skill set and work in this project for some more time. Do my own pet projects, create a website, and then post all the projects that I've been doing. So that is what I'm interested in. I know that there are a couple of certification that people prefer to do, but then I have not been a very big fan of doing certifications, because what I generally say is like, they just do certification for the sake of doing it and then forget it. So, but what I prefer is that doing my own project, putting up somewhere in the, like, if it's a code, like drop it in Bitbucket, or like do some projects, put it online, and then let the hiring manager or the recruiter see what you have done, rather than giving those abbreviations of certifications, right? So
I love it.
yeah, so that's what my goal is, like, for the next couple of months, and let's see where it goes. I'm positive about it.
That's amazing. I love the fact that you said it, because I work with a lot of newcomer and immigrant. First thing they do is they try to go and, apply for certifications, degree and everything in the hope of getting a job, despite the fact that, they're already qualified and they have that stigma. If I get this, you know what, I'm going to get this. If I get this, more certifications, more degree, more high paying job. And did you feel like PMP helped you at all because you're on this particular niche market? Did you feel like that? Like, I know that you actually took the certification. How hard was it?
So PMP is like, if you Google it, generally it's one of the hard exam that you have. So PMP generally helps. It gives a very good framework to manage a project from end to end. So what I would suggest is, like, even if you get a PMP, anyway, you have to maintain the license. Like, you have to do a lot of professional development units and all those things. But if you learn it religiously, try to apply whatever you have learned. I mean, that's more important. Like, trying to apply it wherever you can in your current experience, and see how it works out, what works out and what doesn't work out. I mean, that would really help. So yeah, definitely PMP helps. It provides a very, very good framework to manage a project. It's kind of checklist that everyone should have while managing a project, because like, projects are different. It like each projects are different. And there are a lot of case studies around the world which the Project Management Institute has, which you can go and refer and see what went right and what went wrong. So it's like I always call project as a sailing. It has like the rough sea and calm sea. It's never like stable. So it's always good to have some sort of knowledge of how to handle a project.
Awesome. Like, that certification, I do believe in certain certification will help you, but certain certifications would not help you. So if and there's a thin line between, are you doing the certification to get a job in, like, right now, or are you getting a certification to actually, build the knowledge and you want to apply to it? There's a clear difference. And I'm glad that you did it. It added value as well for your role. Now, before I let you go, do you think career consulting or hiring someone, do you feel like it's still tabooed as weakness, or do you feel like you've done the investment? And what are your thoughts on it?
So I would definitely consider it as an investment, because so it's like the therapy, right? Like, if you're not mentally well, you go to a therapist, try to see what you can do in that. So even for the job, you need some sort of mentors, you need some sort of coach to see what you can fix. And to be really honest, these are all SMEs that you're working with. These are the mentors, the coach, and all those, they have like years of experience seeing what has gone good, like what didn't go right, what went wrong, what went right, and all those things. So they have like years of experience. So they are sort of SMEs who have seen it all. So getting someone who is experienced to help you write a resume or help you identify the niche that you have is always better. It's an investment, but getting the right person is the is sometimes tough. But if you get it right, then it's good.
Thank you so much. And I think, listen, Vishnu, you didn't have to come in here and share your stories, right? And I do value all of the clients who come in and who has stories stories. And if you've gone from, like, no job offers to multiple offers, and you didn't have to share it to the world that, hey, you know what, I got help, And I think these are the client that, I always bring in the show, because they get to inspire, and they're actually telling people. I love it when you said it's a therapy, although I was not a therapist, and I know that I'm not licensed, but I think we went through that emotional ride moment, roller coaster moment together. And I think this is really important message that you're leaving it out there to the people, saying that, hey, it's okay. It's an investment, right? And you didn't have to show it to the world that you're vulnerable. And I thank you so much for actually raising an awareness, because if you got PMP, someone gets PMP, they flash it like, hey, I got PMP, but no one's willing to write that and say, I got help and it worked for me. And I think people are still seeing this career industry consulting as a weakness. And I really want to appreciate your time and sharing your, thought on this industry and what worked for you, from someone who wrote it for you, didn't get the result, versus you learned to write it yourself. And I'm so proud of you. And I wish you nothing but I will see you at the top one day. You're already there, but I know that you can do so much better. Thank you so much. Any last thought that you want to share with our audience? How do they keep in touch with you if you want to give back to them?
Yeah, but I'm always reachable on LinkedIn. So you can reach out to me on LinkedIn and I can share my experience, or I can give you inputs regarding certifications if it is pertaining to project management. And yeah, finally, thank you so much, Sweta, for inviting me in. I have been listening to a lot of stories before, so that has inspired me most of the time. So I'm sure that if people listen to a real story, they might get inspired. They might get some positive thoughts, some positive state of mind that yes, there is light at the end of the tunnel. So I wish everyone all the very best. And I hope you get what you want in your career, personally, in both your personal and professional life.
Thank you so much. And I'll talk to you later, but thank you so much for taking this time out of your daily life and inspiring all those people who have given up on hiring someone, and you were the one who gave up, but then now look where you are. So give people a chance and work with them and see. And at least we got one life to live and nothing works, then you know what, try it and see if it works for you. But thank you so much, Vishnu, and you take care. Have yourself a good night. And I'm going to go with the audience with the clarity. Thank you.
All right, I'll see you soon. Bye.
See ya. All right, so now that he's gone, his name was Vishnu, and he hired me after the resume writing and LinkedIn profile that was done by somebody else did not work for him. So he hired me and he learned how to actually write the resume himself and how to articulate an interview as well. And he got fantastic result to it. So now I'm going to share some of the clarity that I teach in my program. It's not one size fit all. One size does not fit all. And there are more than 5 C's that I teach, and it all depends, but I'm going to go with top 5 that comes up quite often when I'm working with the client. All right. So first one is right there, competencies. Now what happens, it had happened to me as well. And first of all, I wanted to let you know that if you see me sitting in here and think that, you know what, she had nothing to hide, she was perfect. No, absolutely not. Because I was a hiring manager in a hiring world for more than a decade. And when I got laid off, I knew so much, bits and pieces from everywhere. And I struggled because I knew so much and I did not have a clarity. And I got a lot of rejections and I was pointing fingers everywhere, thinking that you have a problem, system has a problem, I am good because I used to hire all the time, I know, but then I'm not even getting interview. How am I going to articulate, right? I knew if I would get an interview, I know that I can sell it, but I was not even getting interview because I was treating myself as I know everything, I can do any job in the world. But that just failed me. And that was the number one lesson. This is where a lot of people struggle, which is just competencies, which is, I want you to think about this, right? If you have a targeted role in your mind, first of all, are you qualified? And there are a lot of, a lot of things going on in the market. And I see a lot of people saying, you know what, that's okay. Apply anyway, shoot the shot anyway, which is what I did. And what happened was I got the rejections and I got self-doubt because I was not clear, and I'm not starting to blame other people, ATS and hiring managers, recruiter. So we got to some time to reflect ourselves. Are you shooting the shot? What I mean by that is, are you qualified? Do you know the hard skills and soft skills? Some of the hard skills, you can learn it at the job. Some of the hard skills you might not be able to. You're expected to know based on the experience. Are they willing to train you, right? So if I hire someone in my company, the technical skills, you know what? I don't have a manpower to train you. I'm expecting you to know it all. I'm hiring you based on experience. That's why I don't normally hire full-time. I normally hire freelancer because it's a short term. I'm expecting you to know everything and get out because I don't have any expertise in training you. I'm a small business, and it depends on the corporate world as well. So hard skills, they can teach, or they might not be able to teach. Will you be able to hit the ground running, right? And then soft skills as well. Some of the soft skills, you just learn it as you go. Some of the soft skills, you're expected to know for the role requirements. So can you meet those standards? I want you to think about that under competencies. And these are the research that you have to go through. I teach people when I take them into resume writing course and everything. I don't even put them on resume writing course until I am clear. I reject it. I'm like, I don't think you're ready yet. I'm not a career clarity coach here. You need to know what you want, but I can direct you. That's what happened with Vishnu. So now on the competencies, you need to know hard skills, soft skills. You need to do the market research. Are you targeting the right company? There are a lot of layoffs happening right now. So what happens is, are you targeting the wrong companies where there's a hiring freeze? Are you doing a lot of research? Are they going to be hiring in future? Are they going to be calling people who are already employed there, who've been let go? Because as an employer, what happens is before you post, if you already have people who are laid off, they might be, it depends on their internal policy. They might be calling them first before you. So, what's the point of waiting for, the employer? They're never going to hire you, right? So you got to target the right employer as well. Market research, information interviews, those are so important. Don't let any people say information interview doesn't work. Now, information interview is not for you to go and ask for a job. There's a way to do it. And information interview is never about like, get me a referral inside. It's all about building the long-term relationship. Yes, there's the template and script and everything as well. We provide it, but that needs to be customized based on your targeted role and everything. There's no template, which is going to be copy and paste and you get the response, right? You got to know how to build a relationship, and you can't feel that I want a job right now. It's all about long-term relationship. You want to end up in a preferred list of candidate. And when I say prefer list is when the job posting comes in, if you're qualified, there's no problem reaching out to recruiter and hiring manager like, hey, this is where I am and I wanted to work for you, right? But like, just build that relationship before the job posting comes in as well. And this is why the relationship is something, it's going to take time, and you got to start right now. It's not going to be instant. And there are like SWOT analysis, I do it as well. And that's like whole different beast. Your strength, weaknesses, opportunities and threat. I teach all of that in my program, plus SWOT of the employers as well. Are you the right fit? Does your vision and value align? So especially in tech sector, I have worked with so many people, they do not want to do 24/7 work. You can apply for that role, but what if the job description says 24/7 work and you're not ready? You believe in work-life balance. And now the remote work is coming in as well, right? So there's so many informations that you got to find out yourself what works for you. And then start from the job search foundations, marketing document, put it all together, get to know yourself, be very clear on what you want, what industry to the point, and then start putting this together, which is credibility, right? Like, when you talk about yourself, what are the experience that you can support? And gone are those days you are listening to these influencer and then thinking, you know what? Hire me for an attitude. That's not going to happen. Hire me for an attitude might depend on the industry. If you're hired for a technical role, if you're hired for a government job or something, you know what? You probably need to meet 100% of compliance. So I want you to think it through. As an individual, if you were to hire someone plumber at your home, would you hire them from attitude? How do you measure the attitude? You would definitely look for someone who's licensed, correct? Would you hire some roofer without any experience? Would you give them a chance just because you like them? Think about yourself. These employers are going to be doing the same thing. They have a compliance to meet. And there's a regulated industry as well, right? So you got to think you through and stop listening to like, you got to hire me for attitude. Like, would you do the same thing, right? So let's self-reflect and see what works for you as well. And then can you support? Do you have any certifications that could like, help you bring out? So let's say Vishnu, who got into IT world, he got PMP as well. That was an asset for him, right? So that puts him automatically, probably if he's qualified, then okay, he meets that checklist. You got to research as well. Some people, they do the certifications for the sake of doing it. And some people just go certifications and feel like they're entitled. I have degree in MBA. I have degree in this. I have certifications on it and they should hire me. Employers do not care about certification. They care about the experience. Can you do the job? I've been hiring manager. Like I wouldn't look for certifications and say like, you know what, if you have certifications, I'm going to overlook the experience, right? Can you do the job? So you got to make sure that you are qualified and you can support with all those project, volunteering, anything you add on. So there are like a lot of it. Okay. So the other thing is confidence. Now what? Okay. You know how to do the resume. You know, like now you're clear on what you want and you have evidence and experience, right? Now the confidence is something, mindset is something that you want to believe in yourself. Like if you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to come across as someone who's going to articulate well in an interview, right? So sometimes you just have to practice a lot. I mean, me, English is not my first language. Like, like when I got LinkedIn Live, it was a pilot. I was given this, and then I was reluctant to go on camera and talk about it, but I went every week. I was not ready, but I went in anyway, and it made me better and better. I'm still not perfect, but I'm okay. I'm okay to talk about it. I don't even practice the sessions. I write it and put it in there because the practice makes it better. And now, how do you communicate? How do you show up? How do you brand yourself? It needs to be very consistent. You cannot be IT person today on LinkedIn and on resume you're different, because the consistency, recruiters and hiring managers are going to pull you up in Google and look at your branding. That information needs to be matching too. So you got to show up. You got to have a consistent branding as well. And you got to communicate well as well. So take a niche and start branding yourself. Like, if I was doing everything, I would not be known as career consultant, right? I'd be known as like, nobody would hire me because they want to hire some expert. Just like, what Vishnu said, general versus heart surgeon, right? Would you go to general doctor versus like if something's wrong with the heart, would you go to a heart surgeon, right? That's exactly what the employers are looking for. Why would you, in IT, let's say example, IT, Vishnu had a problem with, he knew everything, but niche was not clear. Now that it was clear, he got multiple offers and hired in like top companies. So last thing that I want to touch on before I go, and there are a lot of C's that I cover within my program, but what happens is the content is the king. So just the way that Vishnu said it, I mean, I got the resume, but you know what? The template was some fancy, I liked it, but the content was not there. So is your resume working? So you gotta think about it, right? If you're not clear yourself, then sometimes what happens is the resume is not going to work for you. And if you try to switch, this stuff doesn't work, and I'm going to go and put the branding together for other things that I'm not qualified for it, you're shooting a shot at that time, right? So be very careful on branding on a resume, to how do you talk to people in information interviews, to the interview as well. Like when you go on interview, when you're clear on what you want, honestly, you would be so clear on interview as well, that it comes out in my session. So from the moment I take my client, when they're not clear on it, I give them assignment, like this is like marketing documents, and like I put it all together. There are questions, there's a personality test and everything. There's an assignment assigned to them. And then they come back to me, and it's crystal clear to me who is clear on what they want and who's not clear, who needs my help, right? I do everything together, and then I take them to resume writing. And then I review the resume writing based on the job description they want to apply for. There's no such thing as resume review if I don't even see what are the job description. So I put them on, like I tell them, get me a job description that you feel you're qualified 80%, write the resume based on that, and come back to me and I'll develop the course for you. My courses are customized. That's why I don't do the group session. And then I teach them how to write, comparing the job description, and I let them apply for the same job, and then they get offer. And sometimes they don't get offer for that job, that's okay. But then now they know how to write the resume themselves. They don't need me. And that's why the program works. So that's why anyone, you don't have to come to me. You can hire anyone who teaches you the real life, not like someone who's just going to, teach you resume writing, do the resume review based on nothing, based on not knowing you, because it takes a lot of homework to understand one person who are going to get that offers, right? So don't let yourself fool yourself, and don't go and then give out the resume to people saying that, review my resume. It's not going to work, chances are, because they don't know you. It's not quick, right? And you got to hire right people to work through. And the other thing is, last but not least, this is being streamed on YouTube channel as well. You can watch the replay on YouTube channel. And for those of you, I give a lot of free stuff, and I wanted to put it out there. I have a newsletter coming in every 17th of month in LinkedIn newsletter. I have over 82,000 subscribers. It's on a feature sections of my LinkedIn profile. Go ahead and subscribe. I give like a lot of good nuggets there as well. And I have free resources as well on my website. If you're one of those who want to understand the world of resume writing, interview and everything, it's all in there and you can learn yourself. But here's the thing. If you think that free resources are the only way to go and it's not working out, those free resources are generalized, right? It's not customized, and what works for you might not work for everybody, right? So you need to work with someone. If you've done everything, you need to work with someone who can help you to at least come clear with the clarity, and then go with the resume and interview and everything together. And like I said, you don't have to write the single content someday, right? Like, don't believe in like, you must do this. And, you are different. So you might not even have to write the content every day to build a brand on LinkedIn. There's the other way to build a brand, right? There's not a single way to actually do the job search. It's all different for individual. So that's why I want you to be very cautious about this is the only way to do job search, because I've seen people talking about, okay, well, 80 to 90% jobs are hidden, but like, yeah, it might not apply to you, because you know what? First of all, that stat, I keep on talking about this. I also talked about this on my live, go and see it. The 80 to 90% of the jobs are hidden are the myth, and I fully disagree with it. I do believe in hidden job market, right? But I've covered this on my other live. You can go and see it, why I don't believe in this stat, because I was in a hiring world. I had to post a job. There's a compliance to meet, and it's where's the fair play, right? So you gotta take it. Do you fit in that bucket? Do you fit in that bucket? Executive level, confidential search, like, you just need to know the stats could be bullshit sometimes, okay? So anyway, I'm going to let you decide on it. One thing, are you clear on what you want? Okay. And then what are you going to do about it? If you're clear, and if you don't know how to brand yourself in resume and articulate an interview, if you're not getting hired, it's time to reflect and see what are you doing wrong and get help as well. And I'm here, and you can book appointment with me if you want to talk about the clarity more often. I have appointment calendar on my website as well. And right here, where is it? Okay, so if you're one of those, I work with a lot of newcomer immigrant in Canada and people who are laid off as well, because I walked the miles in their shoes, and I get it. I get your emotions, and that's where I can help you as well. And any questions you have, any feedback about the show, please feel free to reach out to me, DM me. I have open message. By the way, I'm on TikTok as well. I'll see you there. I probably go live soon on TikTok as well. And follow me on LinkedIn for finding the free resources. Also, I have free resources online as well. If you want to download it, it's yours to keep. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you all the best. And if you're laid off, there's 7 steps of bouncing back in my website as well. Feel free to check that out. You take care. Bye-bye.